And welcome everyone to Global Business here on CGTN. I'm Michael Wong in Beijing. The headlines we're tracking for you at this hour. Profits of major Chinese industrial firms surged 18.7% year-on-year in the first half of this year, with high-tech sectors leading the charge. Chinese memory chipmaker CXMT soaring on its Shanghai trading debut, closing nearly 466% higher after its blockbuster IPO and making it the most valuable listed company here on the Chinese mainland. And crude prices fell on Monday. That's after the U.S. and Iran pausing their reciprocal strikes and raising expectations of a return to ceasefire talks and a potential reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. All right, let's take a quick look at the Chinese mainland markets where equities rallied to open the week. The Shanghai Composite Index gained north of 1% on the day, while the Shenzhen component advanced some 2.7%. We'll have more on the Chinese mainland markets later in the program. But first, a look at how regional markets performed and how Wall Street closed out on Friday. Well, first up, profits of China's industrial enterprises above designated size surged some 18.7% year-on-year to nearly 4 trillion yuan in the first half of this year. That's according to official data on Monday. In June alone, profits rose more than 15%. Total revenue climbing 6.5% to nearly 70 trillion yuan, while the profit margin widened by nearly 0.6 percentage points to 5.7%. State-controlled enterprises saw an 18% profit gain, while joint stock firms jumped about 25%. By sector, non-ferrous metal smelting led the surge, soaring nearly 100%, followed by electronics manufacturing at around 97%. Well, China is home to more than 2 million industrial robots, more than the rest of the world combined. Well, now those robots are increasingly finding buyers overseas. In the first half of this year, China's industrial robot exports rose nearly 19% year-on-year to around $930 million US. The Chinese-made industrial robots are now sold in 141 countries and regions. So why are more overseas customers choosing them? CGTN's Huang Fei explains.
Chinese-made industrial robots are becoming an increasingly common sight in factories around the world. Manufacturers are running around the clock to keep up with demand. From welding and sorting to heavy lifting, Chinese robots are taking on a growing range of industrial tasks. So what's driving their popularity? Price is one factor. By producing key components in-house, manufacturers say they're able to cut costs while maintaining performance and reliability.
Since all core components, including motors and drives, are developed in-house, our collaborative robots are 30 to 40% cheaper. Demand is rising across Europe, North America, and Southeast Asia.
But price alone doesn't explain the boom. Chinese companies are exporting complete automation solutions, from hardware and software to system integration. Years of experience in applying robotics across 70-plus industries have become an export of their own. And the service doesn't stop after delivery.
Since January, our export orders have increased by more than 30%. With our after-sales team based in Southeast Asia, we can respond quickly to our customers' needs.
And demand could be set to grow even faster. For the first time, bionic robots and cleaning robots have been given their own customs codes, a sign that these rapidly expanding categories are entering the global mainstream. At the same time, manufacturers worldwide are shifting towards smaller production runs, greater product variety, and smarter manufacturing. That's driving the demand for intelligent and adaptable robots, and many see humanoids as the next step. It may look like robot fight night, but think of it as a job interview. These robots can keep their balance, recover from falls, and keep operating even after taking a huge hit, like losing a head. Those are exactly the kinds of capabilities manufacturers are looking for, and many are already being tested in Chinese factories.
AI and embodied intelligence will allow robots to be deployed in many more real-world scenarios.
There are still challenges ahead, from advanced chips and high-end sensors to building stronger global service networks. The race is far from over, but China has already built a strong head start. Huang Fei, CGTN, Guangzhou.
All right, let's get more on China's latest industrial profit numbers and bring in Liu Zhiqian, a senior fellow at Renmin University's Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies. Mr. Liu, welcome to the program. As always, let's start with a headline number. Industrial profits remaining robust, rising 18.7% in the first half of this year. If we break it down by sectors, high-tech sectors such as chips, computing equipment, electronics, continuing to post particularly strong profit growth. What does this tell us about the changing structure of China's industrial economy?
From the facts that you have already mentioned, we can see that the changing structure of China's industrial economy has been greatly improved in the past time. As we know that in order to deal with the uncertainties and the challenges from outside the market, so China's industrial economy has really made a greatly forward and steps for the structure constructions in the way that from the export driven and plus this in domestic consumption driven, the both two circulations with, as we always say, the dual circulation has well combined together. This made a great progress in the industrialization of China. As we know, the structure plays a very important role in the profitability of the companies and the economy, especially in the industrial section. So the structure has been well improved that made the high profit capabilities and opportunities. So this structure reform has been really taken great role in the time that we have already met to deal with the uncertainties and challenges. And the productivity and also the profitability has been both that greatly increased and improved.
Right, so Mr. Liu, industrial companies seeing their profitability improve, not just the absolute value of profits, because we see the cost per 100 yuan of revenue declining and operating profit margins rising. So that just simply means that the cost of earning 100 yuan has been lowered in the first half of the year. How are you seeing Chinese industrial firms improving efficiency and also strengthening their competitiveness?
Yes, that's true, as you mentioned, because as we know, the China's companies and economic equities has always focusing on the most important thing in the economic development. The first is the cost efficiency, that the cost and efficiency ratio has been well managed. As before that, many countries, many companies have bigger competitions because of the cost increase, the labor power, materials, and the cost of per hour for the wages of the laborers. So all this cost has been big burden for many companies. But Chinese companies have been well that managed and improved their efficiency and the cost ratio that make a highly that efficiency with less cost, especially when China and all other companies that are making that the uncertainty and the price turbulences caused by the energy market in the world. But China has been well managed, especially in the efficient and the cost ratio. These two factors have been well managed and monitored and get also improved because of some special policies supportive to make the high quality development with a high efficiency with less cost. This is the main point.
Yeah, and Mr. Liu, the strong profit growth of electronics and semiconductor-related industries coincides, of course, with Chinese chip maker CXMT's mega IPO today. Does this suggest that China's industrial upgrading is increasingly being reflected not just in production capacity, but also in the emergence of globally competitive tech companies?
Yeah, that definitely shows that China's industrial sections has real strong resilience and a well dynamic and potential development. This has already showed again and again, especially today from the stock market, we can show a big challenge and a big achievement made by the chips maker and other semiconductor and other high-tech technologies. Their price has been well evaluated. This is a very important feature that to show that the Chinese market gives more opportunities for foreign investors, especially for foreign investors to have to increase their confidence in China. So that's why they will have more investment in China. They will have more efforts to have close cooperation with Chinese companies to make both sides, Chinese companies, but also foreign companies, to increase the profit and also to earn more gains from Chinese market.
Okay, Mr. Liu, many thanks for your thoughts on all of that. Stay with us. We're going to come back to you in just a short moment. And turning now to trade, where official figures show that the city of Yiwu's exports hit 315.4 billion yuan in the first 5 months of this year, rising 9% year on year. The city crossed the 300 billion yuan threshold 1 month earlier than last year, marking a record high for the period. Now, behind these impressive numbers lies Yiwu's continuous rollout of innovative business models and new industries, which keep fueling the transformation and upgrading of its traditional trade sector.
At Yiwu's Global Digital Trade Center, digital transformation is everywhere. AI-powered navigation lets buyers identify products by image, find stores with one click, and map out the most efficient routes in real time. Among the smart tools, AI translators are a clear favorite, especially for cross-border merchants.
Before the market is open, we already contact the owner, and we have been purchased already more than 100 pieces of AI translator that has been sold out at this time. I come back and see the new products and new AI translator. It's very good and very convenient. And this time probably I also make more and more orders. It's very good.
Beyond translation, AI-driven innovation is helping more local businesses tap into new overseas markets. At one smart wearable store, the owner demonstrates a sleek smart ring that pairs with phones to track health data and support multiple functions.
Our business is fully focused on foreign trade export. This smart ring you see here sold over 10,000 units last month alone, which is a nearly 60% year-on-year increase.
What started as a handy efficiency tool has evolved into full-chain AI empowerment in Yiwu's cross-border trade, covering product upgrading, cross-border communication, and global marketing. The combination of physical commodity trade and digital services is helping local small businesses explore the global market in a smarter way.
Known as the world's supermarket, Yiwu in East China has grown from a humble makeshift market into a sprawling commercial powerhouse and thriving industrial cluster built on small commodities. So what drives its enduring rise as a global trade hub? In this first episode of a special 3-part series, Global Business explores how the Yiwu development experience has emerged as a replicable success model for county-level economies that stay rooted in local conditions while embracing global opportunities.
Every day at Yiwu International Trade City, more than 1,000 new products hit the market. That is roughly 1 new product per minute. The story began in the late 1970s, when China's reform and opening up policy inspired local residents to set up roadside stores. Then in 1982, responding to surging demand for small commodity trade, Yiwu officially opened its small commodities market to the world. That decision set the county on a development path driven by commerce and trade.
Yiwu has always had a strong tradition of commerce. By that time, people were living better lives, and their demand for goods was becoming more diverse. So Yiwu seized the moment, starting with simple items like needles and thread, and selling whatever the market wanted. By the 1990s, Yiwu had already become the largest small commodities market in China.
China's entry in the World Trade Organization in the early 2000s opened new channels for Chinese products to go global. At the same time, international retailers began pouring into the domestic market. For Yiwu, these developments brought both unprecedented opportunities and tough new challenges.
以前我们市场是靠
In the past, our market thrived on quality goods at low prices, with small profits and quick turnover. But when big international supermarkets moved in and the domestic market started to get saturated, our business ran into difficulties.
At that time, the Municipal Party Committee and government put forward the idea of pursuing international trade. Yet many questioned whether Yiwu, as a county-level city, was capable of conducting international trade at all.
How could a small county find its footing in the tide of globalization? Following multiple inspection tours, Xi Jinping, then party secretary of Zhejiang province, pointed out that Yiwu could gain a competitive edge by leveraging global resources and markets. So Yiwu began reaching out to the world, hosting trade fairs, sending local merchants to overseas exhibitions, and even offering English classes to help business owners connect with foreign buyers. These efforts propelled Yiwu's foreign trade into a period of rapid expansion.
We have moved from traditional small commodity trade to global commerce. We have also adopted measures to integrate industry and trade, fueling the all-round development of Yiwu's economy.
In 2005, Yiwu's international trade volume overtook its domestic trade volume for the first time. Xi Jinping believed that Yiwu's development could offer valuable lessons for the rest of Zhejiang province. Starting from that August, he issued a series of directives to guide the documentation of the Yiwu development experience. A report was finalized 6 months later, and he offered a deeper elaboration on what the concept truly represents.
学习义乌发展经验的一个基本立足点就是联系实际，学习义乌如何立足本地基本实情，秉承地方历史传统，开拓合乎本地特色发展路子的经验，学习义乌如何尊重群众首创精神，推动群众创造性实践的经验，要把握这个实质。义乌的发展经验充分说明，对于经过实践检验正确的区域经济发展战略要一以贯之，一任接一任，接好接力棒，打好接力赛，不能动不动就是城头变换大王旗这个都是跟政绩观有关系正确的政绩观就是要接着干。
Over the 2 decades since, Yiwu has stayed firmly on a development path tailored to its own local conditions. Today, its trade network reaches more than 230 countries and regions around the world. As the 15th five-year plan officially gets underway, the Yiwu development experience may offer valuable lessons for other county-level economies pursuing high-quality development.
And still to come here on Global Business. Chinese memory chip maker CXMT soared on its Shanghai trading debut, closing nearly 466% higher after its blockbuster IPO and making it the most valuable listed company on the Chinese mainland.
The world economy as we know it is about to change. Global business reports highlight emerging markets, developing countries, and dynamic sectors worldwide. We feature top analysts and newsmakers to provide perspectives on every facet of business. From an on-the-ground perspective, we provide you with balanced and objective assessments. Fast, sharp, and insightful. Global Business. Only on CGTN.
Well, China's summer box office revenue, including pre-sales, surpassed some 5.79 billion yuan as of 3 GMT Monday. Annual box office figures also exceeded 21.5 billion yuan at the same time. That's according to data from online platform Lighthouse Pro. Over 120 Chinese and foreign films have been released this summer so far, spanning history, comedy, action, animation, and sci-fi. The comedy animation All Wishes Come True grossed over 600 million yuan in just 8 days, featuring traditional Chinese aesthetics, and is set for overseas release in Australia, North America, and Europe. Meanwhile, Kung Fu Soccer has earned over 1.9 billion yuan, blending humor with fantasy sports. Realistic rural comedies, sci-fi comedies, and comedy crime animations are also among this summer's lineup. Now, with more new titles coming, China's summer box office is expected to climb even higher. And the countdown is officially on. 100 days to go until the 9th China International Import Expo, or the CIIE. Now, as the world's first national-level exposition dedicated to imports, past editions have continually broken records when it comes to scale, participation, and global impact. We look back at some of the highlights to prepare you for what to expect at this year's CIIE.
The China International Import Expo, or CIIE, has firmly established itself as a golden gateway for foreign exporters seeking access to the world's second-largest import market. At the CIIE, the growing popularity of imported honey can literally reshape trade opportunities for local producers in Central European countries such as Armenia and Kyrgyzstan. For established brands, the expo also provides a platform to test new products in China's massive consumer market. Swiss chocolatier Lindt, for example, even created a panda-inspired chocolate specifically for the expo. The latest edition of the CIIE hosted over 2,000 food and agricultural enterprises, making it the largest and most popular section at the event. Exhibits can be technologically advanced too. Leading global medical enterprises have showcased numerous cutting-edge innovations at the CIIE, drawing both medical professionals and the public. Potential partnerships with Chinese governments and local medical institutions are forged right on the exhibition floor. CIIE is a place where companies keep returning. A total of 170 enterprises and 27 institutions have become 8-time participants, never missing a single edition. And the door is open to all. American companies have maintained the largest exhibition space for 7 consecutive years, while new dedicated zones are helping products from the world's least developed countries tap into the Chinese market.
Well, again, the CIIE stands as the world's very first national-level import-themed expo, a very clear signal of China's proactive commitment to further opening up its market and expanding imports. For more on the CIIE, I want to bring back Mr. Liu Zhiqian, Senior Fellow at Renmin University's Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies. Mr. Liu, so how has the CIIE helped global brands not only gain easier and broader access to China's vast consumer market, but crucially as well develop a deeper understanding of Chinese consumers and their evolving preferences?
That's true. I think the CIIE gave a good chance and the best opportunities for all partners from other countries to see the real reality, the really detailed needs of the market. As we know in China, we always say that the seeing is believing. So especially for merchandise or for the businessman, they have to have face-to-face talks in order to get the first-hand information. Because as we know that all business is always succeeded by the first-hand information, not the second-hand or the third-hand information. That's indirect information always made a misunderstanding. That in order to get a deeper understanding, they have to show their products, their ability, their philosophy, even their culture that to Chinese buyers and the Chinese market. So that's why we see that the CIIE made a great platform for all partners to see each other, to talk with each other, to know what the people really like or prefer to buy, to enjoy. So they can make their judgment for the new products in order to meet the needs of the demand. So that's why CIIE made a great contribution for mutual understandings.
Yeah, and Mr. Liu, based on my experience reporting from the CIIE, this is a very inclusive trade platform because you will certainly find the world's largest companies like the global Fortune 500 there, but also you're going to find SMEs, right? Small and medium-sized enterprises, micro enterprises, companies from least developed countries. For smaller overseas companies, I want to zoom in on them. For smaller overseas companies or for companies from least developed countries, what support does the CIIE provide to help them better understand market demand, finding partners, and establishing a presence here in China?
You should understand that the most difficult time or issue for SME are in special small countries, especially for least developed countries. They are facing the cost of the transportation. They are facing the cost of information exchanges. So that's why it's very important to solve all these difficulties and problems they are facing. So CIIE gave the best opportunities and the platform for those SME and the least developed countries to come to the platform to see and to look and to talk. That's why they can save a lot of time, they can save a lot of money or the expenses. And the third, they will gain the high efficient the information exchanges to know the market by their own self. Because before time, they always get the information from the ready-makers, from agencies, from other partners. So this is cost a lot of time and even extra additional cost. That's why we see CI is very inclusive. That we invite all these people to be here. We give equal treatment. We give transparent information exchanges in order to help all other partners. Because of our philosophy is that we help others, that is also help ourselves. This is the both way that we call it win-win cooperation.
Yeah, Mr. Liu, for many CIIE exhibitors, the expo doesn't stop at just selling products into China. It also leads to setting up factories and offices in China as well. So how has the CIIE, in your observation, evolved into a gateway for foreign direct investment also, and not just trade?
That's a very special and a unique contribution of CIIE. They can sell their products of the other countries, other companies, and the less or least developed countries. But also, they find that they got profits, they got benefits from the selling from CIIE. So that's why they made a new decision that they hope to have more factories and even the selling agent in Chinese market in order to get the first information from the Chinese customers, the merchandiser. Because they know that the Chinese market and the young generation are changing a lot every day or every week. They have a new idea, new products, a new trend of the consumptions inhabitants. So in order to meet the demand of Chinese market, but also to upgrade their own production and their own product capabilities and also competitiveness. So that's why they set up their own factories and agencies, offices in China in order to get the deep connections and contact with the Chinese market. This is the right, best way to have close cooperation with each other.
Yeah, from imports to investments, that is truly one unique aspect among many of the CIIE. Mr. Liu, many thanks for your thoughts as always. That's Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at Renmin University's Chuangyang Institute for Financial Studies. Well, dozens of foreign diplomats and envoys have wrapped up a recent field visit to Hainan. More than a year after the province launched its island-wide special customs operations, international representatives took a closer look at Hainan's unique cultural heritage, sci-tech innovation, and growing global trade potential. Our Aaron Liu is there.
My name is Hodan Usman Abdi. I'm the ambassador of the Federal Republic of Somalia to China. Today I'm visiting Mauna village in Wujirshan County here in Hainan province.
Over 30 diplomats and representatives from international organizations toured Hainan, seeking deeper cooperation under the Hainan Free Trade Ports framework. At Mauna village, they experienced the Li ethnic traditions firsthand.
I mean, what's very interesting is that they're not using it only for clothing, they're also using it as an art form. So they've produced a number of products right now that could be sold as gifts and souvenirs that are still utilizing this art. In my country, I believe we're still using it as just a form of clothes. So it's definitely an opportunity for communication between the two cultures, the two countries, to explore more avenues for utilizing this kind of art form.
Hainan strikes a fine balance between age-old cultural heritage and cutting-edge industrial innovation.
We learn about its culture, the cultivation of tropical fruits, which is very similar to what we have in Nicaragua. Nicaragua is a tropical country, and we have many, many tropical fruits.
As a key tropical agricultural hub, Hainan leverages free trade policies to boost global cooperation.
I learned about the free trade port. So Ireland has got a number of industries that would be very interested in coming to Hainan.
Hainan has made rapid strides in commercial space launches, tropical seed breeding, and green tech innovation.
We believe that this free trade port offers us that excellent opportunity to trade with Hainan and, more importantly, to get to know our friends here in Hainan and to collaborate in many areas such as agriculture, tourism, information and communication technology, in research and development.
Integrating culture, technology, and open trade, Hainan continues to share development opportunities with the world. Our new CGTN, Hainan Province.
Well, during that field visit, several ambassadors to China shared their first-hand impressions about traveling across China. Take a listen.
I would encourage visitors to visit as many provinces as they can to get to know different aspects of China. But if I may say so, one thing that all the provinces that I have visited have in common is the hospitality. So and the honor that the people have for their town, for their city. So and how they want to feel us very welcome.
Every province is totally different from another one. So I believe that all tourists can find places that they are interested in. From the beautiful landscapes, for example, in Xizang, that region that is very famous for its glaciers, to the seaside, then for the tourists that are more interested in Chinese history and the culture, Shaanxi province and Xi'an with terracotta soldiers, warriors, and also beautiful Dongguan in the northern part of China.
And up next here on Global Business. Crude prices fell on Monday after the U.S. and Iran paused their reciprocal strikes, raising expectations of a return to ceasefire talks and a potential reopening of the Strait of Hormuz.
A vast land of 1.4 billion people. The world's second largest economy. Home to stories of the unexpected, the unimaginable, the breathtaking. Stories that touch the soul. Feel the speed, the passion. Enjoy spectacular natural and cultural landscapes. Feel the thrill of cutting-edge innovations. Discovering China. Global Biz. China Travel. We present a China never seen before. 24/7 at your fingertips.
All right, in other headlines we are tracking at this hour, oil prices fell on Monday as the U.S. and Iran pausing reciprocal attacks, lifting hopes of a ceasefire in talks over the Strait of Hormuz. WTI crude dropped 5.4% on Monday, while Brent crude fell 4.7%. Easing Middle East tensions buoyed most equities, though tech stocks faced selling pressure amid doubts over the AI boom. A fierce wildfire in southwestern France forced 55,000 people to evacuate overnight Sunday, with 220,000 residents fleeing their homes in the Bordeaux region alone. And the Republic of Korea is securing a pivotal spot in the global AI supply chain via cooperation with U.S. tech firms. According to some U.S. media, Samsung and SK hynix have also sealed a total of $950 billion in chip supply deals with NVIDIA and Broadcom. All right, let's get a closer look now at the equity markets here on the Chinese mainland, over in Hong Kong and Tokyo. Tim Pope is standing by for us in Shanghai. Tim, happy Monday. Of course, the big story is CXMT on the Chinese mainland listing here as well. How was that impacting wider trade?
Hi there, Michael. Yes, CXMT dominated the headlines today, and its debut gave a considerable lift to sentiment, improving risk appetite after a couple of lackluster weeks. The Shanghai Composite Index was up 1.2%, the Shenzhen Component gained 2.7%, and the China Export climbed by 3.2%. The gains were also extremely broad-based. More than 5,000 mainland-listed stocks advanced on Monday, while we saw only a few hundred declining. Building materials, batteries, pharmaceuticals, consumer-related stocks, all of those are among the stronger performers. Now, part of that may be because CXMT had created a significant liquidity overhang ahead of its listing, investors raising cash or holding back from buying other shares as they prepared for this debut. But once the market successfully absorbed that enormous new listing, some of that sideline money appears to have returned to other stocks. But the CXMT debut itself was astonishing. We use words like surge all the time, and on days like this, I regret that because it leaves me sort of without a significantly dramatic word to describe a company gaining almost 500% and becoming the Chinese mainland's most valuable listed company on its first day of trade. CXMT closed 465.8% higher, giving it a market valuation of around 3.3 trillion yuan. Now, that does come with an important caveat, however. Only 6.73% of the company's shares were freely tradable today. And with different groups of shares locked up for periods ranging from 6 months to 3 years, it's going to be some time before the market faces a sort of meaningful test of that enormous new valuation. Looking ahead for the rest of the week, it's going to be a busy one. We've got a 2-day industry meeting on solid-state battery standards taking place today and tomorrow. The official July PMI figures on Friday. And, of course, the major event of the week is going to be the communique from the Politburo's expected July economic meeting. Investors will certainly be combing through that document for signals on property, liquidity, consumption, and broader economic support. And the policy direction is likely to guide trading over both the short and medium term, Michael.
Yeah, Tim, going back to CXMT, I totally agree with you. Surge perhaps is an understatement for the shares price today. Perhaps we can try skyrocket. I don't know. We'll think of a new term. But Monday also looked like a positive session around the region as well, Tim. What was happening over in Hong Kong and Tokyo?
Yeah, the Hong Kong and Tokyo markets both rose today after the US paused its attacks on Iran, and Tehran said it would hold its own strikes for as long as that pause continues. You talked a couple of minutes ago about crude prices falling around the world. That really helped Asian trade today. Hong Kong's Hang Seng gained 0.7%. Many of the day's largest moves were driven by company-specific news, though. Xiaomi was the top performer, adding 7.3% after announcing a product launch for Thursday evening. There's going to be a couple of things included in that one, including 2 new SUVs coming to the market. We've also got Trip.com, another major gainer, after Chinese regulators concluded an antitrust investigation into the company. They ruled that Trip.com had abused its dominant position in China's online hotel booking market and imposed penalties totaling 5.2 billion yuan, around $770 million. Clearly, that's a substantial penalty, but investors appeared relieved that at least the investigation had finally produced a definite outcome, and Trip.com shares were up 3.8%. There will also be an enormous Hong Kong listing to watch on Thursday. Also in the tech space, optical transceiver maker Zhongji InnoLight will begin trading after raising $7 billion. The company is already listed in Shenzhen and is one of the so-called Chinext 7 sisters, the 7 heavyweight growth stocks that collectively dominate the Chinext. Its Hong Kong debut will provide a useful gauge of international demand for Chinese AI-related tech shares. The tech sentiment remains pretty fragile over in Tokyo, though. The Nikkei 225 was up 0.5% in choppy trade today. Most of the broader market advanced as those oil price concerns eased, but several AI-linked heavyweights continue to decline. Advantest and SoftBank are notable there. The retreat in oil supported airlines, automakers and transport stocks after a really bruising Friday. But looking ahead for the rest of the week, regional investors will be watching earnings from the major US tech companies. We've got Microsoft, Meta, Apple and Amazon all due to report. The Federal Reserve's latest interest rate decision will arrive before the Asian markets open on Thursday. And Japan also has a heavy domestic earnings calendar throughout the week, and the Bank of Japan's interest rate decision on Friday, Michael.
Okay, Tim, many thanks for that report as always. Tim Pope for us in Shanghai. So indeed, memory chip maker Changqin Memory Technologies, or CXMT, has staged the largest ever IPO on China's Sci-Tech Innovation Board. At the opening bell, the company's market cap exceeded that of Intel by roughly 4%. Founded only just back in 2016, CXMT is now China's largest and most technologically advanced company focused on the research, development, design, and manufacturing of DRAM products. Based on fourth quarter 2025 sales, the company has captured more than 7% of the global DRAM market, ranking fourth worldwide, first in China. For the first half of this year, CXMT projects operating revenue of 110 billion to 120 billion yuan. Well, the first half of this year marked the memory chip industry's strongest supercycle in 15 years, fueled by explosive AI computing demand. According to TrendForce data, contract prices for DRAM and NAND flash posting sharp gains for 2 consecutive quarters, with increases fully passing through to retail markets. Prices for 16-gigabyte DDR5 memory modules and 1 terabyte solid-state drives more than doubled year on year. That's as supply-demand imbalances persisted. AI-related DRAM demand is forecast to exceed 53% of total usage this year, while major suppliers have shifted advanced capacity toward AI products, curtailing general-purpose supply. Analysts from Goldman Sachs and TrendForce agreeing that the tight market conditions will likely persist until the second half of 2027. All right, and that's going to wrap up this edition of Global Business here on CGTN. Coming up next is The World Today with Gasturi Marquez.